I want to take this opportunity to invite my brother also, who is the CS in charge of Devolution, and Arthur to come and make his few remarks. Otherwise, asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency Governor Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya, the Chair COG, and also the Chair LREB, Your Excellency Professor Nyanyong, the Governor Kisumu County, who is our gracious host today, and who is known for his good work, Tichire. All your colleague governors, and we're very, very grateful to see the distinguished gathering here of over 7 governors who have come here for this very, very important day. Deputy governors who are here with us, speakers of our county assemblies, together with the honorable MCAs, honorable members of parliament who are here today, our regional commissioner, Nakaribu Sana to this region. We have a new regional commissioner. All our county commissioners who are working very, very closely with all the 14 counties in this region. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very, very pleased to be here today. And indeed, I'm greatly honored to be part of this official launch of the Covid-19 prevention and control and socio-economic mitigation strategy, as well as the unveiling of the LREB Advisory Committee that will also be the Resource Mobilization Committee of very, very distinguished, eminent persons from this region. I'm greatly honored to be here today. I also want to bring you greetings of His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta, and also Prime Minister Raila Odinga, who are aware of this very, very critical meeting taking place today, and who will be soon visiting this region, and to also bring you greetings of my brother CS Matiani, who was supposed to be our chief guest today. Indeed, he's also a son of the soil from this region, and he was really looking forward to being with us here today. But due to unavoidable circumstances, he wasn't able to come, and I'm here to represent him. And to also bring greetings from my brother CS Mutahi Kagwe, who was here very, very recently, and he toured this region. He was in Kisii, he was in Kakamega, he was in Kisumu, he was in Kericho, Professor Chupon, and he did indicate, and this I want to assure Governor Oparanya, together with Governor Ongwai, that the need to add the testing capacity in the region was very clear to you, and indeed, as per his undertaking, he will be working very closely with the counties to ensure that we expand that capacity, and in Kisii and Kakamega, we have testing capacities increased in this region. That is the assurance my brother has given, and I want to relay to you today. But to thank Governor Oparanya as chair of LREB, together with the CEO, and I'm very, very happy to see that he's back in the driving seat again, the CEO of the Lake Region Economic Bloc, with his team, for setting up this very important occasion that brings us all together from the region. And to say to him, I had the pleasure of attending similar functions, and I'm very happy to see my brother Gulay, who is the CEO for FCDC, the frontier counties. We have 10 counties up north, from Mandera to Turkana to West Pokot, all the way down to Tana River, who have come together and who had a similar function that was looking at the COVID-19 situation together with our development partners. But that was really looking at the partnership between the counties and our development partners. I also participated and followed the proceedings at the coast, and I'm very happy to see Emmanuel Nzai here, my good friend, the CEO of Jumuiya ya Counties of Pwani, who also came together to look at the COVID-19 situation at the coast and to look at how they can strengthen partnerships with our development partners. But what is so unique about today is what Professor Kamarogo said as the chair of the team of eminent persons from the region, that often we look outwards. We look to America, we look to Europe, we look to Asia, but Solon, do we find time to actually look internally, as Governor San has said here? And what is unique about this meeting here today is that we have been challenged to look internally at our resources, to look at what we have. And if you are to stop just to look at that, you will be surprised how much God has blessed this country and how much God has blessed this region. This morning I was watching the Democratic National Convention, and the main speaker today was Barack Obama, the former president of the United States. And what he said was that America is facing an unprecedented health as well as economic crisis. And he doubted that America has actually been able to deal with this crisis or provide leadership as they should across the world. And he said many things. But what touched me was that I was coming to a region where history will say is the biggest EPZ, export processing zone, of the most brilliant people. And indeed, we have seen right from the professor, our host himself, one of the most brilliant professors we've had. And not far from here, we did exports to America, Barack Obama, as the fourth president of the US. And looking at the list of eminent persons that have been availed today, from the professors, top brains in the world of academia, to great economists, to great leaders, entertainers, and I was very happy to see Akode here. Some governors didn't know Akode very well. Madam Boss is a great asset that the team will come to realize, because we worked with her when we had a crisis of drought in Turkana. She was part of the team of eminent persons that worked with us there, and I believe she's going to contribute greatly. And we've also looked at the other leaders who are part of this team. Chair, I believe in a few weeks to come and months to come, when we are working towards the peak of the COVID-19 crisis, this team will contribute greatly to empowering this region and this country to respond. I think we are happy to be part of this historic day. And because I have been asked to represent my brother, please allow me to now make the official remarks by my brother C.S. Matiang'i, who was our chief guest today, on the COVID-19 situation, as well as what is happening in the Lake Region Economic Bloc today. The battle against the COVID-19 pandemic has taken us through a great deal of personal lessons. We have learned to spend more time at home and adapt to working remotely. At a national level, it would be right to argue that the most significant lesson learned is the importance of working together to address the challenges. The virus knows no borders, and it knows no borders. This makes inter-county cooperation an imperative of our time. And I'm happy to see all these governors with our county commissioners, with our county assemblies, to work together, to pool resources towards combating this invisible enemy that came from outside our borders. In his 8th presidential address on the corona pandemic at State House in Nairobi, His Excellency the President spoke about the role counties have to play in assisting each other in stemming the pandemic spread. Let me remind all of us, although all counties were recipients of the 47 billion of the 5 billion granted by the government to assist the COVID-19 fight, not all the counties possess the same technical capabilities. This is most evident in the realm of testing, as I have said, where certain counties do not have the ability to meet the World Health Organization recommendations on testing threshold. We have reason to thank God that Kenya's two-tier governance system has played an important role in the successful handling of the crisis. Cross-county cooperation is indeed important in handling this crisis. However, every county has its own needs, which can best be understood and addressed through the local governance structures. And here we have heard of the difference in terms of impact. The highest is Busia County, that has over 970 cases. And we go down to Nyamira County, that has the least. With each and every county under the leadership of a governor, working with our county commissioner and national government structures, can easily address gaps between county needs and the existing capabilities. Our country has also witnessed various innovative setups of breathtaking manufacturing capacity in response to the sharp rise in demand of various goods and services. For instance, Kenyatta University students recently unveiled a one-of-a-kind ventilator, which spells a new dawn for the country's manufacturing sector. Various textile firms, including the Kitui Women Group, have also risen to the challenge and are making face masks. It is also commendable that various beer breweries and petroleum products have begun the production of hand sanitizers. And as you know, this region, through KDL, we have also been able to make that contribution, and we are grateful to that. People are also finding new and creative ways of coping with the harsh economic realities in the wake of the pandemic. The English have a saying that indeed necessity is the mother of invention. And that is why out of the necessity that has arisen from basic capacities is quite challenging, but possible, with good governance and strategic support from all of us. This trend augurs well for some of the country's sectors, but actualization of the new capacities for the long term in the war against COVID-19 will require a raft of supportive national policies, progressive scaling up of the relevant skills in specific sectors, and development of a sustainable market backed by competitive pricing. In addition, it is necessary to invest in building practical community capacity and implementing a participatory approach towards the attainment of targets. This is not possible without unity of purpose between all stakeholders, particularly the two levels of government. As you see, all our governors and county commissioners are present here today working together. It is through such collaboration that we can marshal and capacitate wananchi to wholeheartedly join us in this war. Coming to the LREB strategy, today I am glad to be part of this historic day when county governments from the Lake region are demonstrating that regional efforts, collaboration, and approaches are possible through a shared vision and a shared strategy. These efforts will add a new impetus to both the national and county level interventions. LREB is demonstrating that we can be each brother's keeper, and that pulling together, we can help us leverage on economies of scale, optimize use of shared resources for efficient service delivery to the people that we serve. We are just about, and indeed we have seen the launch of this regional strategy and unveiling of the advisory committee that will take charge of resource mobilization for the COVID-19 pandemic mitigation. Counties will be learning from each other's best practices and exploring more areas of collaboration in the fight. As I said earlier, we must exercise our individual and collective responsibility to effectively protect ourselves and the people around us. This is a chance for us as leaders to steer our country to safety under the prevailing circumstances. We from the national government will step up and sustain our support for positive collaboration between the county governments and the national government for improved efficiency in this war as well as in service delivery. LREB has set the pace for inter-county cooperation, and I am optimistic that this will bear fruits beyond the war against COVID-19. And I want to assure you, as the governor has said here, when it comes to the issue of strengthening this cooperation, it will also be necessary to strengthen the policy and legal framework, to anchor the regional economic blocks in the law. And I want to assure you, governors present, that as national government, indeed we have already developed the policy, but we must also acknowledge the efforts of our legislators, because it will take also the counties, the national government, working together with our parliament, working together with our county assemblies, to put in place the necessary policy and legislative framework. From this region, I must salute our legislators, namely Senator Rose Nyamunga, who comes from here, for the bill that is already undergoing the second reading before the Senate that will make regional economic blocks legal entities. I want to also assure you of support of national government for that bill. Similarly, in this region, we have the Member of Parliament for Kandui, the Honorable Atanas Wafula Wamunyi, who brought the sugar bill that is also before Parliament. We have worked together through the leadership of our co-chairs, Governor Oparanya and my colleague CS Agriculture. We have in place already a recommendation, a roadmap towards the revival of our sugar sector in this region and in this country. Those recommendations of the task force report that was co-chaired by Governor Oparanya and CS Agriculture have already been approved by Cabinet, and we're in the process of implementing them. And we will be working with our parliamentarians to adopt the Wamunyinyi bill, to fast track it, so that we have in place the necessary policy and legal framework for our sugar sector reforms. Similarly, that will also work with the Rose Nyamunga bill that we will be working very closely with on regional economic blocks, not just for LREB, but all the other regions as well. We also want to salute Senator Aaron Cheriot for bringing the T amendment bill. And this is one bill that is also going to ensure that we bring reforms to the tea sector. We know that this is a region that is well endowed, from sugar to tea to cotton. First of all, also reviving our cotton industry, reviving our textile industry. And I was challenging Governor Nyang'o, when you go to LREB now, you'll find the Rivertex has been revived. We would like to see Kikomi revived in Kisumu so that we can create jobs for our young people in this region. We launched the BT Cotton with Governor, CS Munya, recently in Busia, in Alupe, where we want to ensure that in this region. this is one region that is blessed, that we can diversify our agriculture, that we can exploit the blue economy. We have one of the biggest freshwater lakes here, Lake Victoria, and we want to see how we can improve fish farming to ensure that we diversify our agriculture region. So these are areas where, as national government, we want to assure the governors, to assure the region that we will be working together to give you support. All we are asking is that indeed, as we acknowledge the county assemblies and all the speakers who are here today, we must thank you. The governors cannot do it on their own. We must have these things brought to the county assemblies for you to pass them. We must realign our budgets to address the urgency of now in terms of our limited resources being directed towards addressing this situation. That will require cooperation between the assemblies and the executive arms of government. And that we must acknowledge in this region. You've done a great job, but we'll also continue asking our counties that, as His Excellency the President had directed, we have at least 300 beds per county. When we met in Kakamega with Governor Oparanya, at that time, out of 47 counties, we had 14 counties with 300 beds. But as we meet here today, I'm very happy to learn that we only have 10 counties out of 47 counties that are yet to meet the threshold. And I'm told our 14 counties in the region have done very well, including Siaya, kwa Governor Basanga. They have made the threshold. So we must congratulate our governors, our county assemblies for working together to achieve this threshold. And lastly, to also thank our county assemblies. Out of the LREB bill, out of 14 county assemblies, I'm told 10 have actually already passed the LREB bill. We want to urge even those 4 that have not to also do so that we can give support to walk this journey together, to work together to achieve the goals that we have set for ourselves. And lastly, as I conclude, I want to say to Governor Professor Nyong'o, I met a friend of yours in Mombasa. He's called Professor Ahmed Mohideen. Na pia alinituma na salamu zake. And I know that he will be watching to know if I've delivered his greetings or not. But the good professor gave me a book by Tom Mboya. Tom Mboya is one of the most brilliant sons of this soil. He wrote a book in 1963 called Before and After Freedom. And in that book, he says, the day that made him proud most in his entire life, and you know that his life was not that long, was a day when, in 1958, he visited Accra, Ghana. And President Kwame Nkrumah made him the chair of the All African People's Conference. He was a young man of just 28 years. And that was such a great honor for Tom Mboya that he wrote in that book at the opening that he never forgot in the entire life. But in that conference, Tom Mboya challenged the African leaders. At the time, we had only about 8 countries that had their independence. And we are working towards the others getting their independence. And he challenged them that we have been going by what the Europeans decided for us, but it's about time Africans discovered Africa themselves. That Africa's problems require African solutions, that African leaders must stop looking outwards and start looking inwards to get solutions to our African problems. That was way back in 1959. When I listened to Professor Kamarogo speak today, I thought he must have Mboya speaking from wherever he lies to challenge us today through his very philosophical speech. And Tom Mboya said, we had the European powers meeting in a foreign land called Berlin deciding for Africans, demarcating Africa, and they call it the scramble for Africa. But he said the time had come for Africans to now tell them it is our time to make our decisions, and they moved and got independence, and they worked towards that journey. Today, we want to also look at this journey and know that there comes a time when we must look internally. We look to America. America is in a crisis as much as Africa is. We look at Europe, you go to Italy, it's in a crisis as much as in a worse crisis. You look at South America, go to Brazil, they're in a worse situation than we are. So when our countries come together as they did during Boya's time, we're able to get solutions from African leaders. And when our countries come together, as these 14 countries have, we will start getting solutions to our problems. Nasema hongera magavana wetu, hongera nyote, thank you and God bless you. Asanteni sana.
Can I now ask the CEO to make an announcement? We have come to an end of our meeting today. Okay.
Thank you, Your Excellencies. There are booths for testing and demonstration. You will visit booths, and then we head to Sierra for lunch. This congregation is now dissolved, except for those people who want to take off riches.